Huge changes are coming to Mexico's residency requirements, and they could start as soon as 2026.
If a new rule goes through, the income and savings requirements could drop dramatically for both temporary and permanent residency.
In this video, we'll explain how the system works today, what changes are on the table for 2026, and why they could make residency more accessible for a lot more people.
Right now, if you apply for residency through a Mexican consulate, you have to prove you meet certain financial requirements, either a steady monthly income or a large savings balance. We've done videos about this, which we'll link up here so you can watch after this one.
And here's the catch. Those numbers are based on Mexico's minimum wage, which has been rising fast. That means the amount of income or savings that you need to qualify for residency increases every year, and it's more than doubled in the last 5 years.
In 2025, qualifying for temporary residency typically means showing around $4,200 a month in income or over $70,000 in savings. For permanent residency, it's even higher, $7,000 a month or more than $250,000 in savings.
And it gets trickier because this varies consulate by consulate. There's no standardized number, and each office uses its own exchange rate. A lot of people who don't qualify at one consulate will shop around for another that does.
By the way, if you'd like a simple breakdown of the current visa rules, we put together a free guide. Just write Mexican visa down below in the comments and we'll send it right to you.
Now let's talk about UMA and why everyone's suddenly talking about it. UMA stands for Unidad de Medida y Actualización, or Unit of Measurement and Update. It's a financial index that the Mexican government uses to calculate things like taxes, traffic fines, social benefits, and now potentially immigration requirements.
It was introduced in 2016 to decouple things like fines and fees from the minimum wage, which is considered more political and subject to larger, faster increases.
And here's the key difference. UMA rises much more slowly than the minimum wage. While the minimum wage has gone up about 110% over the last 5 years, UMA has only increased about 25% in that same period.
That slower, steadier growth makes UMA far more predictable and much less likely to price people out of the residency process year after year.
So instead of wondering if next year's income or savings requirement is going to suddenly spike, UMA offers a more stable base to plan around.
And in July 2025, Mexico published new guidelines suggesting that UMA should officially replace minimum wage as the financial benchmark for both temporary and permanent residency.
If that happens, and if consulates follow suit, it could be a game changer for people trying to qualify.
Next up, we'll talk about how this change will affect the financial standards for residency. But first, we wanted to tell you about our new ebook, A Local's Guide to San Miguel de Allende's Top Neighborhoods. If you're thinking about moving to a place like San Miguel de Allende, or you're just starting to explore your options, you're going to want to get this.
We break down 9 of our favorite neighborhoods, the pros and cons, price ranges, walkability, and what kind of lifestyle each area fits best, and even more.
Whether you're planning a visit or narrowing down where you'd like to live, it's a great starting point. You can grab your copy using the link in the description below or scanning the QR code on your screen. So what would this change actually mean for you? If UMA officially replaces the minimum wage as the financial standard for residency, the income and savings requirements could drop significantly and become more predictable and stable over time.
Let's take a look at what that would look like using the 2026 projections. These are estimates based on the expected increase to Mexico's minimum wage, typical UMA growth, and the current exchange rate.
For temporary residency, if consulates continue using the minimum wage model, you might need nearly $5,000 a month in income, or $83,000 in savings. But if UMA is adopted, those numbers could drop to around $4,000 a month, or $67,500 in savings. That's a difference of over $15,000 in what you'd need to have saved. And in fact, it's lower than the current amount.
Oh, yes. And the gap is even wider for permanent residency. Minimum wage projections would push the monthly income requirement to over $8,200 and the savings requirement to about $330,000. Under UMA, those same thresholds would be closer to $6,750 per month and $270,000 in savings, a potential reduction of $60,000 or more.
Still a big financial commitment, no doubt, but for a lot of people that drop could be the difference between qualifying or not. especially for retirees or people with fixed incomes.
And beyond the numbers, UMA could also bring a more consistent process year after year. Instead of seeing big jumps each January, you'd be working with a system that's designed to stay steady, helping you plan ahead with confidence.
If this change is implemented across the board, it could open the door for more people to make Mexico their new home, without as many financial surprises along the way. Now here's the catch. Even if UMA is officially adopted at the federal level, it doesn't mean every Mexican consulate will start using it right away, at least not under the current system.
Each consulate operates with a fair amount of autonomy. That means some may adopt UMA in 2026, while others may stick with the minimum wage formula for a while longer.
There's been talk about standardizing the requirements across all consulates, which could be a huge step forward, but for now it's still a patchwork system.
And that patchwork can lead to a lot of confusion. For example, one consulate might require $4,200 a month in income, while another asks for $3,700, just based on which exchange rate they're using or how they interpret the rules.
That's why two people with the exact same financial profile might get different answers depending on where they apply.
So it's critical to do your homework. Starting in 2026, ask your consulate directly whether they're using UMA or minimum wage, and how they calculate financial requirements.
And be flexible. A lot of people choose their consulate strategically based on where they're most likely to qualify. It's not gaming the system, it's just understanding how the system works.
And if UMA does become the norm everywhere, that kind of guesswork may go away. But until that happens, the best thing that you can do is to be informed and be proactive.
So, will Mexico make it easier to qualify for residency in 2026? We hope so.
Yeah.
If UMA becomes the standard, and if it's adopted across all consulates, it could lower the bar significantly for both income and savings requirements.
That's why it's so important to stay informed and plan ahead. We'll be tracking these changes closely, and we'll share updates as soon as we know more.
And if you're planning your move to Mexico and want help navigating the process, don't forget we offer one-on-one consultations to help you prepare, step by step. Want to know more about the current requirements right now? Click the video on your screen next. See you over there.
Bye, everybody.